Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
You are with the Two Blokes Chatting. My name's Neil Butler. His name is Rob Cameron, and his name, I said pointing towards the phone, is Damian Fletcher. Damian is the director of Maverick Property Consultants. Good morning, Damian.
Good morning, Jen. Thanks for having me on.
Very great pleasure.
Did you get the theme, Damian? The music theme?
I didn't, to be honest, but you've done well there. It's not a bad song to have a listen to.
Magnificent.
Yeah, thanks, Paul Kinnerborough. Good morning to you. See, people do like our music. Damian, you are the director of Maverick Property Consultants, but otherwise we would describe you as a buyer's advocate or a buyer's agent. Tell us a little bit about what that role entails.
Yeah, that's correct. I suppose we find in this busy life that we're all living that people have less and less time to get out and source properties and do those things that I suppose we don't all look forward to. I certainly look forward to it, but many people don't. So we're just filling that gap in the market and assisting those buyers that need guidance through that process or don't have the time or live in different regions that are relocating. We source the property for them. We negotiate on their behalf. We go through multiple opens till we find the right one, and often, we don't always get the first one or the second one, but we get there and we source, negotiate. We put our buyers, our clients, we get them in touch with the right professionals, finance brokers, conveyancers, legal representatives, to get their deal over the line. And I suppose it's a service where we connect people and find homes for the clients.
Damian, I hope I know the answer to this question, but do you ever get the reverse where someone will ring you up and say, look, I've got this really shit property at Inverloy, can you find someone to buy it for me?
There is a service that we can provide as vendor advocacy where we can put the sellers or the vendors, say, with the right real estate agents that we believe service that market really well. But I haven't come across a case where someone said, look, I've got this house that I'm selling, or I'm selling my house, you have a buyer for it. It's more so it seems to go through the channels of, the real estate agent who might phone you up and say, look, I've got a property that's coming on. But no, there's the vendor advocacy as well, where, you deal with a lot of real estate agents, so you sort of find the ones that market different areas really well. So if I had a friend in Geelong West saying, I'm selling, I'd be saying, well, A, B and C do a really good job in that area. I'd suggest speaking to them. But, you do your own homework and research as well. But, yeah.
Yeah, you want to be dodging people in Geelong West. They're a bit dodgy, as you know. Sorry, I better say allegedly because I'm that's what's they call it? Deprecating humour, yes, right? I wasn't having a crack at people in Geelong West, for those who are now on the phone ringing, it does wrong with people in Geelong West. So tell us, the primary reason we got you on, it was important that we set the context that whilst you're heavily involved in real estate, you're not a real estate agent, i.e. selling houses for people. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the market at the moment. I would have thought most people would assume that the market's dead because no one's got any money, no one's got a job, no one's got any security. What are you seeing in the market at the moment in sort of the broader Victoria sense, but specifically around Geelong and the Surf Coast Bellarine?
Yeah, well, interesting because that's exactly what I think probably the general population suspect. And we see a lot of the media it sort of sends that message as well that real estate, beware and all the rest. It's in trouble, but certainly down in the Geelong region, it's absolutely flying. Well, obviously we can still access open homes through private inspections, which certainly assists. But we had a flat period there, sort of the second half or the last quarter of 2019, where we saw some declining growth. But 2020, there's been a real resurgence down here, and especially since March, since the lockdowns, which is, I suppose, quite surprising, but given there's been the job keeper and job seeker and this influx of money into the country, which has been printed and whatever else, but that's largely helping keep things afloat. And from a finance point of view, lenders are still job keeper payments that's eligible for loans, so people are still getting loans. And I think given the pretty harsh or harsh, hard, heavy lockdowns in the Melbourne region, I suspect there'll probably be greater growth in Geelong to come over the next 6 to 12 months, with people thinking, well, we can work remotely some days of a week. Let's move down. Let's have a change of scenery and enjoy the lifestyle side of things with a cheaper buy-in price. And the Geelong, the Surf Coast, the Bellarine Peninsula has been really steady. It's been going quite well following that flat period of the last quarter of 2019. But obviously it's a bit of a different story in Melbourne. In Metro Melbourne, it has dropped a little bit, but it is real estate. I suspect once things open up, and who's got the crystal ball? No one knows when immigration and all those things are going to open up. But when they do, the Australian real estate market is quite strong. It'll be quite resilient and bounce back in those cities, metro areas.
I think. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, Damian, that working from home thing, our connections along the coast through my other jobs, suggesting there are people who already have houses at Anglesea, Lawn, Aries Inlet, and have come down and working from home and have found it to be really convenient. They're still very productive, and they're thinking, right, this is going to be the new principal place of residence, and we'll rent out the Melbourne one occasionally. But is there an influx that you've found of people who are currently living in Melbourne saying, well, I can work from home, I'd much rather do that at Lawn than Sunshine, let's do a switch? Is that part of your brief?
Yeah, I'm finding a bit of that, and also speaking to some of the local estate agents as well. They're the clients that are going directly to the estate agents. They're finding that too. That it has been an increase in Melburnians that are inquiring, at least anyway. So that's it. And you're moving forward into the future. You just wonder if remote working is going to become a bigger part of working in those roles where you can. I suspect it will, the way things are going, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I had reason to look at a piece of real estate, not look at it in the buying sense, and I looked at it online the other day in Warwicknabeal, 4 hours drive from the middle of Melbourne, and that's not seeing that. There's still houses available in that part of the world for 150k that you'd go, if you could live in Warwick, a great part of the world, I've got to say, but if you could live and work in that part of the world, you can still get very, very affordable housing. I think the thing that Geelong and the Surf Coast Ballarine's got going for it is, I don't think we'll ever get to a stage where people are truly working 100% remotely if they're working for a large organisation. So if they're working for one of the big banks or one of the big corporates, they'll still need to go to Melbourne every now and again. And I think the Geelong Surf Coast Ballarine thing works. It says, what, if I had to go to Melbourne once a week, I can live with that, whereas Warwick really couldn't do it. I reckon that's one of the big appeals to this part of the world.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
That's a first.
Now, Damian, one other thing that concerns me, people are suggesting there was going to be a burst of the real estate bubble, and when the COVID thing happened, the first thought was, all right, okay, here it is, this is going to be it. It's gone the other way. Are you still a little bit fearful that some people are stretching themselves and a burst is around the corner still?
Well, the Australian real estate market, it's a massive part of the Australian economy. I mean, I don't believe there's a bubble. Perhaps there might be a bubble in the overall economy in terms of the dollar and things like that. But I suppose that's another story. But I don't believe there's a real estate bubble. However, I mean, I do believe people are leveraging quite heavily. I've always been quite conservative in terms of I see real estate as stepping stones to get to the ultimate dream home. With hard work and perseverance, but sometimes, I do see perhaps first home buyers or young couples, really getting quite a large mortgage in it. I do sort of think, oh gosh, that's for your first one.
So layman's terms for leveraged quite heavily is getting in the shit. Is that correct?
Rob's been quite, he's working blue this morning. That's the second time he's dropped that into the conversation.
Well, yeah, more or less. But then again, interest rates,
it's a pretty good safety net, isn't it? The current interest rates to play the game.
Yeah.
They're sort of the backs are against the wall in that department, so you can't see them moving. But then I wouldn't hedge my bets on getting an excessively large mortgage because I believe that they might not be moving. I'd still be conservative, I suppose.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Damian Fletcher from Maverick Property Consultants. How can people find you?
Look, we're on all the social media channels under Maverick Property Consultants. You can contact us via phone on 0447 136 097, or you can contact us via email at Maverick Property Consultants. No, that's not the email. The email is damian.fletcher82@gmail.com. Website, is www.maverickpropertyconsultants.com.au.
That's why I haven't been getting the emails, mate. You've been giving out the wrong address. Thank you for joining us on Two Blokes Chatting. Interesting chat there about real estate, and we'll catch up soon.
Lovely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Damian. All the best.